Hey everybody, I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I want to show y'all a super simple and easy way of wrapping a bead into a pendant. Now this is like roughly around a 30 by 22 millimeter Kamba Jasper bead, but you could use whatever you have on hand in a variety of different sizes and shapes and stuff, though I do recommend something that's roughly pillow shaped, like more oval and flat than something that's like mega thick, because this will lay much more peacefully as a necklace as opposed to like rolling around all over the place. But it's your art, so you do you, and let's get started. Okay, so here we have the bead that I introduced to you prior, and a knitting needle, though you could have a ring mandrel, a variety of different pliers. Here we have some chain nose, wire snip, bent nose, nylon jaw, and 2 sizes of round nose pliers, as well as some 20 gauge parawire, though I am going to see if we can use this 18 gauge aluminum because I think that would look really pretty. But there are links down in the video description to where all of these different tools and materials can be purchased, or at least used as a starting point for you to be like, oh, this is what she's using, and then shop around to find something that maybe you prefer. So first things first, you're going to want to test and make sure, yeah, no way is this 18 gauge fitting through this bead. So that limits our selection down a little bit more. And I think instead of the silver, I think I want to use a combination of an antique and natural copper. Sorry for all the traffic noises, there's just no winning. I live pretty urban, so there's a busy street right outside my house. So, and I'm pulling myself off about a meter of wire in the 20 gauge natural toned copper, and about the same amount again in the 20 gauge antique copper. Now these are Parawire brand enameled copper wires, and they're just my absolute favorite for like wire wrapping and stuff with, because it's really durable coating, good quality, dead soft wire. And so I'm just going to thread my first wire. Well, if it'll go through at all. Sometimes if it doesn't work from one end, try the other. Are you for serious? And if it doesn't want to go through, sometimes I'll just grab it here at the end and kind of push through, and there it goes. Because sometimes what happens is the polish that they use on the beads can get stuck in the little holes, or they might not be like perfectly aligned, or just something. Okay, so now I have a good bit pulled out, like probably almost a foot. And I'm going to line up my secondary color next to the wire that I've threaded through the bead. And also, this is just like to give you guys ideas. You can feel free to follow along however strictly or freely as you would like. I'm wrapping twice around the knitting needle. And there'll also be a link down to where you can get like a proper mandrel. I've lost mine. Otherwise I'd be using that. But a knitting needle or a pen or something works perfectly fine as well. And I've just wrapped a few times. If you treat this like the head and the rest of the pendant like the body, you're wrapping it around the neck to get it nice and secure. And so now I can remove my knitting needle, and also for reference's sake, this is a size 11 or an 8 millimeter knitting needle. And so I've got this one wire coming down the back, and I'm going to just kind of pin it with my fingers and do a twist. This is going to be a really loopy, spirally, free-formed pendant. There we are down at the bottom. And now I'm just making some little crazy loops around on the sides. And the way that I'm doing it is I'm gripping the wires quite firmly, but pinching it between my two fingers and then swirling it around. So feel free to experiment a little bit to decide, you know, kind of get the hang of it and see how you like them. Like, you might do your spirals way more tidy and neat and organized than what I do, and that's perfectly okay. And also, this is just our first rotation around. So you can see how that kind of comes up and hugs around the edge. And I don't want it crowding up so much on the stone. I'm just trying to make a little bit of a frame for it. So I'm going to hold it with my thumb and kind of come around. And that establishes kind of the bind off so that there is some, you know, kind of off the side there. So that's looking pretty nice so far. I really like the two-tone wire use. That makes me happy. So I'm just kind of looping around, spiraling. Happy little spirals. Here we go. Just doing some more little loop-de-loo spirals. Okay, so now that we've come back around to the bottom, what I'm going to do is carefully, trying to keep the wires together up here, thread them through that first loop that is very stabilized because it's threading literally through the stone. And now I'm just going to come off in this direction, back up the way we came. And you can kind of use your fingers to curve the wire out a little bit. Ooh, that's what I'm gonna... And from here, like, this is a very, like, basic structure. Just kind of go with it and see what happens. Like, I mean, it's... You know, this was something that the bead was relatively inexpensive. There's not a whole lot of, like, time or material investment in this. So if it comes out in a way that I personally am not very attached to, I can sell it for relatively inexpensively in my booth. Because while it may not resonate with my heart, a customer might fall completely in love with it and be like, no, I have to have this. So just let your art happen and somebody will love it. Okay, so I'm going to thread through just right across here, and it kind of complicates it, with them not being the exact same length as each other, but we'll try to work with that. So again, just kind of keeping them snug up on each other, but just looping through, kind of around like that. And I'm actually going to bring this to the back side, and what I'm going to do from here is this shorter wire. I'm just rotating it around, and I'm going to try my best to tuck it through this back wire, kind of between the back wire and the stone. There it goes. Because this, again, it helps kind of stabilize everything. I mean, we don't have to worry about the stone falling out. And for beginner projects, I do really recommend working with drilled stones like this. That way, you only have to worry about building the structure and the framing. You don't also have to worry about the structural integrity of the piece. You know, it kind of simplifies it down just a little bit for you. Oh man, you guys, I feel like I want to put a bead, boop, right there. So let's rummage through the bead tray. This is just a sampling of the kind of menagerie that's been built up over the years of, like, this is just what I've picked out. I've got tons more. So that's like, it needs organized, but I don't really have a place to put it. So let's just see what happens. So what I'm going to do is with this brown wire, I'm going to feed it through right here. And ooh, what wire should I use? Or what bead? Here we have a little bicone bead. Well, that's kind of cute, but it's not perfect. Here's a little Celtic knot bead in a nice brassy tone. And I feel like that one's going to be kind of flopping around all over the place on us. Ooh, here's a really pretty little brass bead. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, now I'm going to look for some little metal, maybe 4mm beads. Do I have any of those in this tray, maybe? Is that too much to hope for? It might be. Okay. So I'm actually going to dig out. Here I have some 4mm copper beads. They're nice and bright and shiny that I think will be a really great contrast to the antiqued copper bead. Just like, and it's kind of mimicking that, the, bright and antiqued copper wires. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to scooch this one over on top of the wire to where it looks nestled in, like it's growing out of itself. Then I'm going to thread the bead on, and I'm going to thread on the final smaller bead, and that'll kind of nestle behind this wire that I'm then going to, what am I going to do? I don't know. Just kind of cinch down around. It's a nice little vining going on. I spent a lot of time out in the garden today pulling out morning glories that had reseeded from last year and are taking over everything. So this is reminding me a whole lot of just the glorious chaos that is plants. Well, I try to maintain out in the garden as much of a, well, just because I didn't plant you doesn't mean you don't get to grow kind of mentality. Sometimes it's like, no, you can't be in this bed anymore. So with the wire wrapping, I'm very much letting it just happen. So to kind of try to mimic and emulate that beautiful chaos of nature. So we'll bring that one. Because I don't want to do that too much and cover up the little squiggles and stuff. So now I'm going to come down on this side, or maybe I want to do it in the front. Yeah. Okay, so this guy's looping around. It's going to come through right here, maybe. Sure, why not? And it's going to kind of bend up and around. Yeah, this guy is going to get snipped to about 2 finger widths. And now I'm just going to coil him on in into a nice, loose, spirally swirl. And so this one's going to actually come across the back now. Come through right here, maybe? Like, y'all have no idea how much of this I'm just, like, making up. It's so hard to make 2 of these that look exactly the same, but that's, why would you want to do that too much anyhow? I started building the spiral off to the back side, and I really don't like that. So this is where tools like the nylon jaw pliers will come in, because they are so handy for just kind of, it's as close to Control Z as you can get with your wire. I personally have a preference for building my spirals towards the front. I don't know why, that's just, I like it. And then I'm going to just, I constantly try to pin down my spirals through the other spirals, if that makes sense. Okay. So now I think I'm going to come up behind this one right here. Maybe. Yeah. And kind of twist it off to the side. And then I'm going to come up through this side right here and twist it off to the side. So now I have a couple more little twisty bits. That I'm just going to, I don't know, I guess coil, like spiral up the ends on. Like this one's looping around that other one. So I'm just going to do a little spiral off the tip. Just like that. And this one's going to get coiled up and in. Just like that. And now I'm going to space out the bail just a little bit more. And there we go, you guys. A very chaotic but lovely pendant. And that's what it looks like from the back. Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with me while we made this pendant. I think that was quite the transformation from just a plain old bead to a wearable piece of art. So if you guys have any questions or comments or ideas, please leave them down below. My goal with this tutorial, I realize this is probably going to be really difficult to completely recreate. The idea here was to try to make it a little bit more approachable to y'all. Like, so that, sorry, the glare is like getting me right in the face. So that y'all can, look at pieces like this and be like, I can do that, because y'all can. Each one will be unique and will be such an expression of what you can do as an artist. And the more you do it, the more you'll grow, you guys. So please keep at it. And I'd love to see pictures of y'all's creations. So if you make something inspired by this tutorial or just want to share pictures, my Facebook is Back to Earth Creations. And you can also tag me on Instagram. I'm back_to_earth_creations. I really need to figure out how to make that not have underscores in it. So, because it is a mouthful for sure. But yeah, you can tag me on Instagram and stuff as well. If you enjoy my free tutorials and would like to support the creation of more of them, as well as participate in my fairy house giveaway, for just $1 a month, you can participate in our fairy house giveaways. $1 gets you 1 ticket into the giveaway, for a manner of speaking. The door swings open. And if you pledge $5, you get 5 tickets to the giveaway. And then if you pledge $10 or more, you still get your name once into the hat for all of our giveaways, but you get a kit of like materials or a gift sent to you every month. And this goes internationally, you guys. So wherever you live on this earth, you can become a patron. I am here for you. I will ship it to you. So, yeah. Thanks again, you guys, so much for hanging out with me. And I'll see y'all I'll see y'all in my next video. So have a great day and happy crafting. Bye.